first thing talking about is Juan Soto. So finally, after I don't know how long it took for Juan Soto to choose the team, he finally chose the New York Mets. 15-year, $765 million deal. Wow. Just wow. I'm really, really happy as a Mets fan that we got a pretty much generational talent that I think we never signed in the offseason before. I think the closest player that the Mets ever got that was like something to talk about was uh, Curtis Granderson. I think back in 2014 or 2013, something like that. That was the only guy that were like, okay, that's going to help our team a lot. I wouldn't really say Max Scherzer or Justin Verlander because they were more of, yeah, they were more back at the end of their career, but they were still somewhat decent, even though they weren't. Uh, but Juan Soto for the New York Mets, I don't even know how to process this. I'm like stuttering. I don't even know how to say this, but I was shocked kind of because, like, Juan Soto was traded from the Padres to the Yankees last season, and he seemed like he loved the Yankees. The bleacher creatures, just overall the stadium, because it's easier to hit home runs out of that stadium. The New York market, as you know, overall, just being a Yankee, just the history of it. And I thought we were going to stay. But it seems like, as you know, if you're a New York Yankee fan, if you know what the New York Yankees are about, they're about corporate. Clean face, dress nice, haircut. You gotta be very, very, very professional. You can't really be yourself. It's all about locker room, not as much as family. It's a lot. It's like corporate America, honestly. Corporate America. But yeah. So you can tell that Juan Soto, if you look at the news of what people were saying, not to push down the Yankees, but it's just how the Yankees are. His family wasn't really that welcome. They wouldn't go on the field when he was on the field compared to other ballparks that you were allowed to bring a family, on the field. Then you got, I think they moved the family, his friends and family, at a certain section in Yankee Stadium, which was interesting. Like, what? But we're not sure if that's 100% that one, but the other parts are true. It could just be all false narrative of just trying to make the Yankees look bad. What else? As for the money wise, you saw so many teams trying to, put the money into it. You wanted the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Mets, the Phillies, a little bit of the Blue Jays. Seemed like they were more on him. I think he was interested in those teams. Phillies didn't really offer him anything. It didn't really sound like it. You've been hearing they did offer him something, but not really. Blue Jays offered him, I think it was a 15-year, $700 million deal, just like the Red Sox did. Both of them offered the same amount of money to Soto, but he didn't want to go there. But Boston was more appealing than Toronto that I saw, which he was a huge Boston fan. Growing up, David Ortiz was his idol. You would think he would go there. They did a really good job trying to, present him why he should come to Boston, which props to Boston for trying. And then you got the Yankees were offering him a little bit more than 700. I think it was about 720 something. And the Mets were offering him like 730 something at the time. Though both the Yankees and Mets were the only team that were offering much more, higher money than the other teams. But then, as you know, the Yankees had a good amount of leverage when it came to when it came to just been with the team, the players, everyone here, and it sounded like Yankees were going to sign him pretty much the last couple of days until towards the end of the night. Steve Cohen just be like, hey man, let's give him $765 million. including a bonus, which is like an extra 50 mil, which is around 800 and something later on down the road if he stays with the team. So the Yankees didn't really want to, go past that 760 range. They had a limit, which was 16 years, 760. I think it was, 16 years, 760. If I'm correct, if I'm wrong, it might be 15 years. So they didn't want to go past that. And Soto's agent was like, you guys can match for the Mets if you want. But I think the Yankees start to realize that Steve Cohen's going to do everything in his power to try to get Soto. He'll go to 800 million, 900 million, maybe $1 billion, which is like insane. But hey man, if you're a diehard Mets fan growing up, just like Steve Cohen is, you're going to try everything in your power to help this organization win a World Series. And that's what he did. He beat the powerhouse Yankees, the big bad Yankees, as we all knew. As you know, it's just shocking because in the 1980s, the New York Mets were, running the city automatically. They won a championship. They made playoffs much more than the Yankees did. They had a better team with Darryl Strawberry, Keith Hernandez, Gary Carter, etc. And then the 1990s and now, if the Yankees were dominating with Joe Torre, Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera, A-Rod, Cano, Damon, it was just Bernie as well, I would say. But they were dominating so many years, and Steve Cohen's like, bro, we're gonna conquer the city, and we're gonna change the narrative of the Mets. Because everyone always makes fun of the Mets, and it's true. As a Mets fan, I always grown up watch the Mets look like a clown show. It'll be 3 straight bad seasons, 1 decent season, and it wasn't a good time being a Mets fan when the Wilpons were owning the team. I think the greatest time I've seen the Mets do well was when they went to the World Series in 2015. And then in 2000, I think 4 or 6, when they went to the national championship game, but they lost versus the Cardinals. But that was the only time I had a memory of being a Mets fan. And also, like, little bits here and there, like Jose Reyes and Carlos Beltran and Carlos Delgado and David Wright, like those little memories that I've seen, during seasons that we did pretty good but didn't make it that far. I never experienced a memory like a Yankee fan did. Always won championships, always went to the playoffs every year, always got the good players. I never experienced that as a fan. But if I had to say that who benefit this the most, the Mets automatically. You get a game changer of a player. Yes, he's not Shohei Ohtani, he's not Aaron Judge. But he's up there. His outfielding is not the best, it's mid, but his hitting is off the charts, one of the best hitting in all of the baseball, and also pretty much all time. And then you got personality-wise, his personality is something that the Mets need. The Mets need that. Because there's one year the Mets have one guy, another year not so much, that had that personality, but not like Juan Soto personality. Like, he got that swagger. He wants to, he got that juice. And that's what the Mets really need. They need that type of guy on that team. But I really think that the Yankees, I don't know what they're going to do now. They can't get the, what's his name? Willie, he used to play for the Brewers. They can't get him now. He's on the Giants now. So pitchers are getting off the board a little bit here and there, but not as bad. So what the Yankees need to do, they need to trade for Nolan Arenado for first baseman. They need to get a center fielder, a right fielder if I'm correct, or a left fielder if I'm one of those. And then you need pitching. Definitely need pitching. Bullpen automatically. The Yankees have a lot more work to do, but if they did sign Soto, I think they would have a little bit more of a budget. Like, they couldn't do as much. So I think the Yankees didn't lose as much as, say, if the Mets did. It would be a little bit of a, what the Mets are going to do. But Soto really helped the Mets be a competitive team. Now you're saying to yourself, all right, Soto went to the Mets. Well, he should have stayed as a Yankee. The history, he knows them already. We have a much easier time going to the playoffs in the AL than the NL. Because the NL, you got to versus the Dodgers, the Braves, the Phillies, other teams, Yes, but this is what I think. I think personally, yes, money is a huge factor in Soto. That's what he wanted the most. But it was $5 million more than the Yankees. And I think that he chose the Mets because just a better future, a better foundation is much more run normal there than compared to the Yankees. Because the Yankees, you have players who cannot hit. You have Judge and Stanton. Pretty much that's it that hits. Everyone else is cheeks. Then you got GM who's a little bit when it comes to certain stuff. You got owner who doesn't seem like he really wants to spend. He doesn't really care as much. Yeah, you get the history, but then it's blue collar worker, and then that whole incident with his family there. He's more of a family orientated, not a blue collar clubhouse guy. It wasn't his thing for the Yankees. Now, as for the Mets, whole different ballgame. You got an owner who wants to spend money, who loves the team, who wants the team to do well, who's a fan. You have a GM who is really good, who knows how to change players like that, who knows how to, make a good clubhouse guy into choosing the correct player for that team. You got the players on the Mets team who are really good. Lindor. You got Nimmo, who did really good. Pete might come back, but we're not sure right now with him. But if Pete comes back, you got him. And then you got Alvarez, which, he did pretty decent, but not as much as people expected. But he's good. You got a lot of young farms in the farm of the Mets that are really, really up and coming. They have a bright future. And you got the most awesome fan base in the world, the Mets fans. We're passionate. We are dying for, a World Series. I feel like the Yankees, he wouldn't be that, that guy there. I think for the Mets, he want to be that guy. But he also liked the fact that the Mets are more family orientated. He has his own suite at Citi Field, bro. And if you guys saw that the Yankees wouldn't give him a suite because they didn't give a suite to Derek Jeter and Aaron Judge. What? A suite? You have more money than the Mets. You're much more well known than the Mets. And you can't give a guy a suite? What? Bro, it's a suite. You make millions and trillions of dollars and you can't give a guy a suite. The Mets do. But you can just tell, the Mets is just overall, you feel at home, That's what I've seen as a Mets fan, that it changed so much, since Wilpon got rid of, becoming an owner. Because when the Wilpons were in charge of the Mets, it was not like this. I didn't feel the type of energy when I went to the games. It was okay, baseball game, But it wasn't like the New York Mets, it was just different vibe now. It's a different, atmosphere. It's just overall a place you want to play. And you even saw Severino and Manaea talk to Frankie Montas before he signed with the Mets. He's like, dude, you definitely should go there. They care about you. They want to help your game. And it's literally family. And that's what players want to see. They want to be used as a, whatever. They want to see as a person.